Hello, if you're here, I'm assuming that you are stuck on one of TryHackMe's modules in the Junior Penetration Testing Learning Path, the SSRF one in particular. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to try to get this through as quickly as possible to show you how to do this module. If you would like more of an explanation, just wait to the end and I'm going to tell you about a really great resource that really will in-depth more explain to you what's going on and why the things that we did worked the way that they did. So let's just jump in and get started. So in tasks, I've got my attack box set up. I have already got my machine down here deployed and it's up and running. And so we'll just work through this as we go. So what is an SSRF? The answer to that question is server-side request forgery. Server-side request forgery. You want to spell it the exact same way that they have it right there with a dash. As opposed to a regular SSRF, what is the other type? The answer is blind, B-L-I-N-D, for the correct answer. So let's go on to task number 2. In task number 2, they want us to click on this view site right here, and they want us to go through this learning module to find the flag. So again, I black out the flags for you, but if you follow the steps here, you should be able to get it on your own. It's really simple. So let's click through here. You should be reading and understanding all of this, and let's get to the mock website that they get us. And the first thing we can do is just, because it's going to show us what the web address says here, and then if we hit enter, this is actually the actual URL that it is requesting when we hit this right here. So it's going to say, how can we manipulate this to get to this web address right here and get our flag. And they give us a hint that we should append at the end to ignore the rest of the URL. So I'll show you what that means right there. So if we take this right here, just the portion of the URL, we don't need the protocol. And if instead of API at the end, we were to just hit enter and go there, it would say 404 not found. And we see that it actually took the web address for the flag that we wanted, but it keeps appending that ID web address at the end. And so we want it to not have that. So what we do is at the end, so again, it still says the server.website.thm/flag ID = 9. At the end, we're going to use the and or the ampersand symbol equals X, and we're going to hit enter, and there you go, you have your flag. So let's go on to task number 3. Task number 3 is another reading comprehension one. You're just going to read through to better understand what's going on and what we're going to be doing in the next couple of tasks. And so the answer to the question is, what website can be used to catch HTTP requests from a server? The answer is requestbin.com, requestbin.com. So let's go on to task number 4. Task number 4 is another reading comprehension question, so I'm not going to go through that with you. Again, go to the end of the video if you'd like to have some good resources on where to get information to better understand this module. What method can be used to bypass strict rules? The answer is open redirect. Open redirect. And then what IP address may contain sensitive data in a cloud environment? That one is 169.254.169.254. And again, if you'd read this, you'd understand why. What type of list is used to permit only certain input? The answer is an allow list. An allow list. And what type of list is used to stop a certain input? And that is a deny list. So those are the answers to the reading comprehension. Let's move on to the practical. This was a little tricky, admittedly, and I had to get some help on this myself, but I am going to try to distill what I found for you. So it wants us to go to start the machine. And so over here on my attack box, they want us to start out by going to this web address here. I'm going to right click, copy the link address. I'm going to paste it onto my clipboard here so that we have it when we want to go to the browser. And once I'm in the browser, I'm going to right click and I'm just going to go paste and go, and it's going to have that web address in there for me. So now that they're here, they say the first one we might want to try is private. So let's see what happens when we go up here and at the end we put private. It says that we cannot access this page from our IP address. So what they tell us to do instead is to go over to customers, and I'm going to log out because I did this earlier. So I'm going to sign up, and you want to sign up for a new account. So I just did Shauna, and password, And so let's create an account and get back in it. Don't need to save. Because I've already done this, I'm going to have to create a new one. Sorry about that. So let's just go Shauna1, Shauna at Gmail, and password, and let's go in. So we're in. We don't need to save our passwords, obviously. So now that we're in, we can see that we're at this customers tag. And so they're telling us to go over to customers new account page and see what we find there. So if we go / new account page and hit enter, you will see that we are at, it looks like on the back end, they have a new page that they're developing that they didn't want to be front facing, but we found it. And it shows that you can access these avatars. And so since we're kind of in a developer space, we might be thinking to ourselves, maybe we'll be able to access some private material. So what they're telling us to do is go to one of these avatars and right click and go to inspect element. And it'll take you right to, in the HTML, the HTML for that specific element. Here, let me pull the page up. So we're right here, and that's for this value right here. And we're seeing this thing assets/avatars.1.ping. So it's saying first, let's try private. So if we right click on that area, because that's what we want to change, the value section right here, and we go to edit as HTML, and instead we highlight the area in between the quotation marks and we put private. Here's a key point. Once you edit it, you need to step out of it so that it goes yellow and it takes it. And so now once we choose it, let's go see what happens and we update the avatar. Okay, and it says a URL cannot start with private. So that gives us a little bit of information. It shows that it is taking the alternate URL that we are giving it, but we just can't start one with private because it probably has some security measure in there. So let's go back and let's try again. Instead, let's go back down to the area. Let's edit it as HTML. And instead, we're going to trick it. We're going to trick it to get to private by putting an X / ... to change directory back up to private. So it doesn't say private, but we're telling it to change the directory to go back to private. So we're basically doing the same thing. So now when I click out of this box, it goes yellow. It's accepted. XX is private. And so now let's go to choose. So now we've changed the HTML, but now we need the website to take and accept that HTML. So what we need to do is click on that avatar, make sure it's the same avatar that you're changing because there's these other ones down here. So click on that one and go over here to update avatar. And let's see what the page looks like. It says avatars updated, but look, we've got like the current, under where current avatar is, there's nothing there. So I wonder what is there. I wonder what's hidden. So we're gonna hover in that area, right click and go to inspect the element, and it should take you right to over here, the element, and we see that we've got some base 64 encoding. So I'm going to right click on the area, edit as HTML. If this section right here is filled with a bunch of code, you didn't do it correctly. So maybe after you edited the code, you didn't click out and actually make sure that code was accepted and saved into the HTML, because you should only have a base 65 code that's about this long. So I'm going to take this base 64 code, I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to go up to a new tab. And if you're using the attack box, they'll actually have offline CyberChef that you can use, but you could just go base 64 I think decode.org is another place that you could go to. So we're going to go here that TryHackMe has already loaded onto your attack box browser. And I'm going to go over here into input, and I'm going to paste the code that they gave us. And then I'm going to just down here in the output, I'm going to just hit enter. I forget how I did this. I had to double click. So go over here from base 64 and double click, and then it's going to give you the flag right there. So that's it, guys. Once you do that, you have completed the SSRF module on TryHackMe. Congratulations. If you want more of an explanation and a slower walkthrough, I recommend a YouTube channel called Stuffy24. He's just really good. He's a good communicator. He's very clear, and he goes through the module a little bit slower, and he explains what's going on and why these things are working. So I hope that this helped you. I hope that you were able to follow along and able to do it yourself. You will learn more if you're able to do it on your own. So leave me your comments, criticisms, or if you have any questions for me. Until next time, you guys, happy hacking. Bye-bye.